Hi, it's Jane. I don't know about you, but the weather here has been fairly nice, although we're supposed to get some cold temperatures again pretty soon. Not too thrilled about that, but there isn't anything that I can do about it. I have continued to work on this 3-wedge shawl. This here is where I picked it up the last time. And I'm enjoying the process of doing it, but with all the obligations, things that I have to do, sometimes it takes longer than I think it should. Okay, I do have a couple of we're doing the hats for the kindergartners, and this is the hat that this young lady chose, and here is the hat that I did. So, hopefully I managed to capture what she wanted. I only got a couple of hats done. I've got 4 hats completed so far. So, I'll show you those as we go. And this young person wanted basically a Christmassy hat, and here is the hat that I came up with. So hopefully we managed to get that. I was struck as I was doing this. I thought if I add the stripe of black, we've got the colors for Kwanzaa. That just, that's one of those things that just kind of struck me as I was doing it. Now, these are the young ladies that had wanted to have a rainbow pom-pom. So, here is originally what they had asked for. And as you can see, I could have probably figured out how to do the rainbow pom-pom that way, but instead I took the lazy way out and did it this way. So there's that hat. Now this next hat is pretty much a repeat. Because like I said, the young lady wanted the rainbows in her hat as well. This is what she chose. And there is that hat. And like I said, with the, doing the multicolored pom-poms, it really wasn't that easy. That difficult. It's basically just taking, one strand of each yarn and using that to create that pom-pom. So, I did have a little bit of fun with that, doing that kind of thing. And, yeah, that's kind of where that is at. Now, let me put that away. I need to do a survey for somebody. I did complete the one shawl that I was doing, the sample that I did in the 3-wedge. As you can see, it's not a very big shawl, but I only had 2 cakes of the Sweet Roll Frosties in that color, I think it was strawberry shortcake. I only had 2 cakes to begin with, and I had about this much left out of it. I probably could have got maybe another half a row, but I decided I would stop where I got to on this point. And yeah, I'm happy with the way that it came out. It's a nice little shawl. It'll fit someone perfectly. So there you have it. That was the test one the shawl that I did the tutorial with. So there, it is finished as far as that goes. that's about it that's going on. I do have some bags that I'm working on that I hope to have ready to go up into the shop probably Thursday, maybe Friday morning. So, yeah, they may be up earlier than that. I may be able to get them done by Wednesday and then in the shop by Thursday, but I'm going to give myself a little time just in case. All right, are you ready for a little water in Tarnation? Here we go. New York man vows to regain 750 11-foot gator removed from his home. A man whose 11-foot, 750-pound pet alligator was removed by conservation officials from his home in upstate New York this week has vowed to regain custody of his beloved pet. Tony Caballero of Hamburg, New York, had added an in-ground swimming pool to allow his gator Albert to swim and cool off while illegally keeping him in his backyard. The alligator is about 30 years old, is blind in both eyes, has spinal issues, according to the Department of Environmental Conservation officers. The agency alleges Calavera allowed members of the public to get into the water to pet the unsecured alligator. He previously had a permit to keep the gator but did not renew it after it expired in 2021. The lack of a permit, the access given to visitors, and the alligator's health caused DEC to remove Albert in interest of public safety and health and safety protection of the alligator. Cavallero told local media he ran an errand Wednesday morning and returned home to discover DEC officers, Hamburg Police, and the Erie County Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals at his home with a warrant to remove the alligator. The DE said he turned Albert over to a licensed caretaker who will care for him until he can be transported elsewhere for proper care. Evidence seized while removing Albert, potential evidence provided by a veterinarian, will determine if the state will file charges against Caballero. Caballero said in an online petition seeking to regain Albert that he was treated like a terrorist when officers removed him and hauled him away in a truck. He claimed he owned Albert for more than 30 years and normally renewed his permit for the alligator months before its expiration date, but revised regulations and the failure of the DEC to return his calls seeking answers to questions regarding them led to the permit's expiration in 2021. Possessing an animal designated as dangerous, such as an alligator, is prohibited by New York law unless the owner obtains permit from the DEC. State officials said Caballero did not meet the conditions for ensuring the gator didn't come in contact with people or pose a threat. Caballero told WIVB-TV the revised regulations require him to buy insurance coverage and tape Albert's mouth shut whenever he is around people. The regulations also require Caballero to build a fence around the alligator's enclosure to prevent him from getting loose. He said he has retained a lawyer and intends to bring him back home to his home. There you have it. Yeah, I love the Japanese and their zoos and the way they do training, drills, those kind of things, because it's kind of cute. Let me get a drink here. I'm drinking Fuji Apple by Walmart. Was it Clear American? Zookeeper dresses as white tiger for drill. The video of the drill is absolutely wonderful to watch. A Japanese zoo held an escaped animal training drill featuring a costume performer mimicking the behavior of a fugitive white tiger. The Tobu Zoo, Zoo in Miyashiro Town, Satama Prefecture. You know, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Held its annual training drill Thursday, with a zookeeper putting his tiger expertise to the test by pretending to be an escaped animal. Video from the scene shows the zookeeper wearing a sweatshirt with the tiger's face on the hood, prowling on all four while other zoo employees put the facility's escaped animal plan into action. The zoo's team put up net barriers and used simulated tranquilizers to subdue their colleague before securing him with rope and returning him to a secure area. Zoo Chief Mashira Kaminaga said the annual drills are an important training exercise. In the event of an emergency, it is important for each person to understand their role and respond accordingly, Kaminaga told NHK. And that is absolutely true. It's true even in a hospital setting. We perform all kinds of drills all the time so that you would know what to do in case of an emergency. However, the funniest drill we ever had was one where a gang came in and took over the hospital. It happened when we had that big hailstorm that caused like $7 million worth of damage during a May festival in the park. And with the hail and so many people coming in injured, and a tornado on top of that at the time, which I was in the building, and the building swayed. Nobody recognized the gang leaders, the gang members trying to take over the hospital, with the exception of my desk secretary at the time. She said, "Look, there's a gang member." Well, and they had signs on saying what they were. So she called security, and security said, "We have too much to worry about. Don't worry about it." So it was kind of a funny drill. But there were people that did notice what was going on. All right, rats at New Orleans Police Headquarters getting high on seized marijuana. New Orleans Police Department officials said the rats infesting the department's headquarters are all high from eating marijuana stored in the evidence room. Police Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick told the City Council's Criminal Justice Committee the building is infested with cockroaches and rats, and the rodents in particular seem to be having a good time destroying evidence. "The rats eating our marijuana. They're all high," she told the committee during this week's meeting. Kirkpatrick spoke in support of a $7.6 million proposal to temporarily relocate police headquarters to a leased space in a downtown building for 10 years while exploring permanent solutions to the current building's numerous issues, which are not limited to pests. "We all know the facilities have been run down," Criminal Justice Committee Chairman Oliver Thomas told WDSU TV. "Last year it was so hot that we had to close the buildings. Sometimes it's so cold that our officers in the rank at headquarters can't even occupy the building." Gilbert Montano, the chief city administrative officer, told the committee the relocation proposal would be considerably cheaper than the estimated $30 million it would cost to fix up the current headquarters. The proposal must now go before the full City Council for approval. Scientifically speaking, it's unlikely the animals are experiencing the euphoric effects of cannabis. Raw cannabis contains inactive ingredients that must undergo heating, decarboxylation, before THC is produced in the form that gives mammals, the sensation of feeling high. March 14th, Pi Day. On Pi Day, FDA revokes regulations for frozen cherry pie. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is marking Pie Day with the decision that it will no longer hold frozen cherry pie to a higher standard than other frozen or fruit pies. Pie Day, an annual celebration of the mathematical constant pi, is observed March 14th since 314 are the first significant number of figures of pi, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. I don't know what's going on with my voice. On Thursday, the FDA announced it would be revoking the standards of identity and quality for frozen cherry pies, saying they were no longer needed to ensure the products meet consumer expectations. The agency's decision comes after years of lobbying by organizations like the American Bakers Association, which argued the regulations are outdated and have disproportionately affected the baking industry by not anticipating innovation and the rapid changing taste of consumers. In a statement, the FDA said revoking the standards could provide greater flexibility and the opportunity for product innovation, an action that supports FDA's goal to modernize standards of identity. The rule, the FDA noted, will go into effect April the 15th. Frozen cherry pie has been the only variety of fruit pie or frozen fruit pie that required separate standards. That's interesting. Bald eagle gets stuck in a car grill and evades injury. Officials in a Maryland county said a bald eagle was lucky to avoid serious injuries when it collided with a car and ended up with its backside stuck in the front grill. The Calvert County government said in a Facebook post that an animal control officer and personnel from the Calvert County Sheriff Office responded when a driver collided with a bald eagle on Route 4. When the driver stopped, they realized the eagle was still alive, but trapped in the vehicle's grill. The animal control officer was able to carefully extract the eagle with help from deputies. After a thorough examination, all were relieved to find the bird seemed to be in good health and was quickly released back into the wild. You know, zoo and wildlife rescuers often do things that most of us think is sort of ridiculous, but they do this to help the animals that they've rescued. Wildlife rescuer dons red fox mask to feed orphaned kit. Wildlife rescuers in Virginia shared a video of an official wearing a red fox mask while syringe feeding an orphaned kit. The video, posted to Facebook by the Richmond Wildlife Center, shows Executive Director Melissa Stanley wearing the somewhat realistic mask and rubber gloves while feeding a red fox kit brought to the center earlier this month. The center had put out earlier a call on social media for supplies, including the purportedly realistic mask. It's important to make sure that the orphans that are raised in captivity do not become imprinted upon or habituated by animals. To prevent that, we minimize human sounds, create visual barriers, reduce handling, reduce multiple transfers amongst different facilities, and wear masks for the species. Center said the rescuers have been in contact with other rehabilitation facilities about fox kits that are the same approximate age and weight. They said officials are determining the best way for the female kit to be with other foxes her own age. Do you remember last year when I talked about all these mysterious monoliths that just started appearing? They're back. Mysterious monolith found in Welsh hillside. A mysterious silver monolith has been found on a Welsh hillside, evoking memories of when similar structures appeared around the world in 2020 and onward. Richard Haynes said he was out for a run on Hay Bluff near Hay on Wye, Powys, I think that's how you pronounce it, when he came across the 10-foot metal monolith. I thought it looked a bit bizarre and might be scientific media research thing collecting rainwater, he told Wells Online, but then realized it was way too tall and strange for that. Then I went up to it and it was about 10 feet tall at least and triangular, definitely stainless steel. It was hollow and I imagine pretty light. Light enough for two people to carry it up and plant it in the ground. I wonder if he found footprints too. The column is similar to a monolith discovered in southwest Utah desert in 2020. The monolith was followed by further discoveries in locations including California, Texas, Florida, Wisconsin, Romania, and England's Isle of Wight. An anonymous art collective called The Most Famous Artist later took credit for several of the US-based monoliths. However, no one has come forward to claim responsibility for the Welsh monolith. And there you have it. We end with a mystery. All right, guys. Let me get the devotional. And we will get into that too. The devotional is God's promises from God's heart. Promises from God's heart for his friendship. Friendship with God is reserved for those who reverence him. With them alone, he shares the secrets of his promises. Psalm 25:14. He guarantees right up to the end that you will be counted free from all sin and guilt on that day when he returns. God will surely do this for you, for he always does just what he says, and he is the one who invited you into this wonderful friendship with his Son, even Christ our Lord. 1 Corinthians 1:8-9. When I think of you as I lie on my bed, I meditate on you during the night watches, because you are my helper. I will rejoice in the shadow of your wings. I follow close to you. Your right hand holds on to me. Psalm 62, 6-8. No, 63, sorry. It's kind of hard to read sometimes. On one of those days, while Jesus was teaching some men came carrying on it a mat with a man who was paralyzed. Seeing their faith, he said, "Friend, your sins are forgiven you." Luke 3:17, 18, and 20. You make known to me the path of life. You will fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand. Psalm 16:11. For David said this about him, I keep the Lord before me always, because he is close by my side. I will not be hurt. Acts 2:23. Hang on. No, Acts 2:25. The print on this sometimes is hard to read. How happy is the one you choose and bring near to live in your courts. We will be satisfied with the goodness of your house, the holiness of your temple. Psalm 65:4. And that is it for today's devotional and today's video. As always, be a little kinder to yourself. Be kind to one another. Love one another. I'll see you again soon. Bye.